Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. My name is Mike. I'm the moderator in the series that is all about Persian rugs and handmade carpets from around the world. I welcome you to our channel and I hope you and your family are doing well. In this video, I want to talk to you about a certain type of Persian rug known as the Nain Persian rug. It is one of the most popular, most copied designs amongst the Persian rugs. The Nain rugs, like the Isfahan, the Tabriz, Keshan, and other types of Persian rugs, have been very popular with clients all around the world. But there is a very unique feature about the Nain rugs that tend to confuse a lot of buyers as well as owners, and that has to do with the quality. So in this video, I'm going to share with you a few things that you may or may not be aware of, whether you are an owner, a buyer, or someone who's passionate about Persian rugs. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how, even though they are classified as the same quality, there's actually a big difference amongst the Nain rugs. So, like I said, this video is all about the Nain rugs. So right here, what I have done is I have hung up two extremely high-end, these are what is known as 4-law Nain rugs. Nain rugs, unlike the other types of Persian rugs, are not, the quality of them is not described by the knot count, but by the number of threads that make up one single fringe. So if you were to look at one fringe and were to literally cut it off and take it apart, you will notice that in this case, you have two Nain rugs that have 4 threads, and each thread is about the thickness of a yarn. So imagine the same yarn that we use to attach our buttons on our shirts. You take 4 of those extremely thin threads, you intertwine them, and you have what is known as a 4-law. Law means thread. 4-law, this is what these two Nain rugs are here. Now they represent the top 1% of Nain rugs. Over 90% of the Nain rugs are made in what is known as, some people refer to them as 12-law. So there's 12 threads that make up one fringe, and you generally have about 100 kpsi. Some people refer to them as 12-law, tapas, kashmir quality, but these are basically the low end, and I use the word low end in quotations. I mean, these are rugs that will last you many years. But generally speaking, they will have anywhere between 80 to maybe 150 knots per square inch. These are not very fine pieces. And and then you have what is known as, the next one up is the 9-law. The 9-law, Noh is Farsi for 9. 9-law, you have 9 threads that make up one fringe. And so these are typically Nain rugs that have about 200 knots per square inch. 200, 250. Then the next one's up, which is the beginning of the high-end piece. The high-end ones are what is known as 6-law. 6-law, the 6-law, which have 6 threads per, and they start at about 400 knots per square inch and can go all the way up to about 600 or 700. And these, and this is where things have, in the last 10 years, have been a bit distorted, and which I'm going to explain to you in a little bit. But I just wanted to give you a little background. And so, for example, for those of you that are new to our channel, or if you're new to Persian rugs, just to give you an idea, if you look in the map, you can see here, I photoshopped a little map of part of Iran. You can see Nain is in the bottom there. This small town of Nain, and it's actually a very small town. It's near the larger city and rug producing town of Isfahan. Nain is actually inside the Isfahan, the county of Isfahan, the province of Isfahan. Nain, up until about the 1950s, it was mainly known for being the producer of the wool. The wool for the Isfahan rugs, a lot of it came from the Nain area. Also, Nain supplied a lot of the weavers. But starting in the 50s, Nain weavers became also very popular. And obviously one of the most famous Persian rug weavers workshops is the Habibian workshop. That is Nain. I made a video about the fake Nain, the Habibians, the fake signatures. And I talk more about the different types of qualities in the Nain rugs. And I've made several other videos about them in our YouTube channel. And I'm going to put a link to the main Nain page. So if you're interested in, if you have one and you may have one that has a signature and you're not too sure what it is, click on the link above. But basically, the city of Nain, central Iran, started producing the rugs in the 50s. Now they use what is known as a Persian knot, same as the Isfahanis. And the designs and everything is very much influenced by Isfahan to the south, to the southwest. You also have Qom to the north. You have Kashan is actually also not too far away. So you have a lot of influence, and you'll see that the designs and everything is very similar to, for example, the Isfahans, the same with the dyes, the same with the wool. Very similar. But unlike all of the rugs, because the Nain rugs are classified not by kpsi, but by number of threads, that's where the confusion comes in. And I'm going to use not just these two right here as examples, but I have, if you look at the picture here, you'll see that I got a couple of, these are both 6-law, both same size, same exact workmanship. One is a traditional design, one is a gumbat design, and the point I was trying to make, and this is what I'm really focusing on in this video, is that here you have two pieces of the same quality, yet the shishla with the traditional design has a higher knot count than the one that has the gombat design. It's a difference of one that has about 800 kpsi versus 600. Even though they are both shishla pieces. Now, here on the chahala, we have two chahalas. One that I'm right here sitting next to has about 900 knots per square inch, between 8 to 900 knots. This is an extremely fine piece. But the one to my left here is an extremely high end. This is one of the finest chahalas that we have ever had. This one has close to 1200 knots per square inch. Both of them are chahala. So if you were to go on an online shop and you were to look at them on the pictures, well, they both look very similar. But in terms of quality, you have to hold them in your hands. And there are some people that have always said that if you want to buy a Persian rug, you really have to go in the rug stores. And there is some truth to that, but I can honestly tell you this, as an online dealer, and I've had my online shop at MP Rugs for, nearly 25 years. Here's what I can tell you. You're going to be hard-pressed to walk into any rug store to find multiple of these to compare to. We are able to do this because we are wholesalers. We specialize in certain types of rugs. So this is why, for example, if you go to my website, you're going to see at the time this video was taken, I actually got 3 of them. So 3 in 3 different qualities, but they're all chahala. And they're all about the same size, and this is what we as wholesalers do. We then supply the online shops and the rug stores. But the point I was trying to make, 1200, 900, both of them chahala. The 6-law pieces I showed you the picture of earlier, again, 2 different knot counts, even though they're classified. So, at the same quality. So if you are looking at buying a Nain rug, I want you to do something that I normally discourage people to do, and that is to basically ignore everything that you're being told, put a ruler on the back of the rug and figure out the quality based on the knot count. Because here's what has happened. About 10 years ago, as the online dealers basically took over the world of the rug retail, they discovered that a lot of people, especially those that are knowledgeable about Persian rugs, like in the case of the Nain rugs, and being that they are extremely popular, they learned that a shishla sounds a lot more expensive than, for example, a nohla. Being that we're able to tell clients that yes, you have 6 threads that make up a fringe, so you have much tighter knots in a 6-law than the 9-law. Well, obviously, the 6-law is much more valuable, much more expensive. And of course, a lot of dealers will then flip the rugs over and they show the knot count. And then on top of it, you have, in the 6-laws, you typically have the fake Habibian signature. Oh, they make a big deal about that as well. But here's the thing. What they learned was that because so many online dealers were doing it, and they're all doing the same crap, they went to the weavers and said, hey, can you make us 6-law pieces in a lower quality? We don't care, because we as dealers, we have to pay for the rugs, and we pay a lot of it on the wholesale level and on the retail level. The rug stores, when they buy the rugs, they not only pay for buy the rugs by the size and everything, but they also pay by the quality. So if you have, for example, this rug right here with 900 kpsi is going to be about 25% cheaper than the 1200 kpsi. The online dealers love to have this type of Nain rug. They love to have the 900 because it's 25% cheaper, and they can sell it as like a Rolex. Whereas a 1200 kpsi, it's going to be over the top, it's extremely expensive, and it's generally perfectly suited for the knowledgeable collector. For the online shops, they make their money off of the lower grade pieces. And this is what has happened in Nain, where you see that the trend was the demand from the stores, which had now moved from the brick and mortar to the web. The demand for the online dealers was not so much in the finer pieces, but they wanted the lowest quality in the high-end category. And I hope this makes sense to you. Like with the shishla pieces, the online dealers want the lower quality shishla because that piece is more expensive. The gombat is actually cheaper, more profitable, because it takes less time to weave. The lesser time it takes to make something, well, the lower the cost. So the gombat piece is cheaper than the traditional piece because it has less knots. The same here. So with the Nain rugs, it is the uniqueness of being that the qualities are measured by the kpsi, but with the Nain rugs, the quality is classified as law, which is by the threads, by how many yarn there are in the thread in the fringe. But I want you to ignore that when it comes to actually purchasing it. Or if you own one and you're curious about what it is that you have. Remember what I said, count the kpsi. kpsi is 1 inch. Count the knots over 1 inch, which is 2.54 centimeters, and square the number. That gives you knots per square inch. So that is what I wanted to talk about in this video. And as I've always done, is I'm going to get behind the camera now. I'm going to show you some of the features of these two pieces. Because like I said, these are, chances are, even if you are a fan of Persian rugs, to come across Nain rugs of this caliber is extremely rare. This 1200 knot per square inch Nain rug, the Chahala right here, when we got it, I actually thought it was a 3-law, which is the highest quality Nain rugs that we have seen. And 3-law means 3 yarn to a thread. Now, the 3-law are extremely rare and extremely fine. I'm surrounded by Persian rugs all day. We specialize, my family specializes in the high-end pieces. And the number of times that I've had a 3-law enter this wholesale business and then leave, 3-laws I can count on one hand. Extremely rare. The Chahala, they are also rare, but the difference between a Chahala and a 3-law is a difference between, the Chahalas are like Ferraris, Lamborghinis, whereas a 3-law would, I guess, be like a Bugatti or something. I don't know. I'm looking at, if you live in a large city, you can come across plenty of luxury cars. But to actually see like a Bugatti, those are extremely rare. And that's kind of like a 3-law. So, but as I'm going to do is, I'm going to get behind the camera, show you some of the features for those of you that are into the Nain rugs and the Chahala. And then I'm going to come back to you and say my final goodbyes. So as I always do, if you're into Persian rugs or if you like our channel, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. It helps us out. And like I said, this is something that I do in my spare time when I have it. And it's also there to answer a lot of the questions that I get, not just from clients, but through the YouTube channel here. So I'm going to get behind the camera now and then come back to you later and say my goodbyes. So here I am behind the camera as always, and this is what happens when you don't have anyone that helps you with the actual video recording and the editing. This is all basically what I call amateur hour, but this is what I love doing. So here are quickly just a basic idea of what a Chahala is all about. These are, like I said, extremely fine pieces. Unlike a lot of the Persian rugs, when it comes to the Nain rugs, the silk is actually added to the wool and in very small areas. But the wool you'll see, it's a very soft lamb wool and extremely fine pieces. I mean, these are wool rugs. These are lamb wool. And I'm just gonna, if you look at it here from an angle, you can see how the silk is just shining back at you. But these wool rugs are a lot finer, especially the one on the right, than virtually 99% of all silk rugs. And just to give you an idea, when I told you about measuring the kpsi, and this is something that I always tell my clients, put a measuring tape down and simply take a picture with a phone, count the knots over 1 inch, and you have, and then square the number. There is your kpsi. Or if you are outside the United States, if you are in Europe, well, basically anywhere outside the United States, here's what I would tell you. Count the number of knots over 5 centimeters. Double the number. Now you know how many knots you had over 10 centimeters. Add a 0 behind it. And you have 1 meter. Well, square the number and you now know what 1 square meter is all about, how many knots you have. And I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna leave the camera here zoomed in because like I said, this is the finest Nain rug. I mean, like I said, the knots are just absolutely incredible. And as I mentioned to you with the threads, I was talking about that, like I said, this very fine, this one fringe is made up of 4 yarn. I'm just going to zoom in as much as I can. This is one single fringe, and that's 4 threads. That is how incredible they are. There's really, I mean, like I said, these are the types of rugs. These are over the top, extremely valuable, very much appreciated by, well, obviously those that are into the Persian rugs. I mean, this is as good as it gets. So, but I wanted to show you the close-ups. I also wanted to show you how you do the knots and everything. And you can tell, I mean, like I said, and I'm just going to compare the two here. Both chahala, both of these are 4-law, but the one on the top, the fringes, much thinner, much finer than the one below it. And these are already fine to begin with. But this is what I meant to say when I was trying to explain to you about the difference in qualities. It's the same thing. Look at the threads here. Look at the knots. If I'm just going to zoom in. 1,200 knots, 900. Absolutely phenomenal pieces. Both of them are special, but both of them are the chahala, and this is what I was talking about, how the online dealers, how they like certain types of rugs and everything. So I hope this close-up section, this segment was of help to you. So there was our video about the different qualities within the same type of Nain rug. I hope you liked the video. I hope it is of help to you, especially for those of you that have them and wanted to know more information about them. Again, there's a lot of videos about the Nain rugs in our YouTube channel. There's also the links to all the rug pages and everything below. Feel free to let us know if you have any questions, or visit us at mprugs.com, where you can see the pictures and everything. But like I said, all the important stuff, the links are below. So I hope you and your family are doing well. And I will be coming back to you with many more videos to come as time goes on. So I wish you all the best. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.